What is up, Babylonians? Dan was here, and welcome to a news day for New World. So we have had the first patch released today at 11 a.m. BST, and it's got a few changes to try and make life a bit better, and a brief description as to what they're looking for in the future to try and help those server times for you. So let's have a look. So the patch notes start with a nice little message from the developers saying, "Greetings, adventurers. What a week it's been. We're humbled and honoured by the amount of adventurers that have begun to make their mark on Aeternum. Last week, we shared that our top priority was ensuring that everyone could log in and play quickly without having to wait for queues. To accomplish that, we have more than doubled the number of available servers, increased server capacity on existing servers, and are continuing to work on a feature to allow players to transfer their characters to different servers, which will be available soon. While members of our team are working tirelessly on ensuring players can find a server to call their long-term home with a character transfer feature, other members have worked on a few additional quality of life updates and bug fixes to ensure that once players have entered Aeternum, they are able to play and progress as intended. We'll continue to work on server transfers, bug fixes, and other issues in future updates. Thanks for your reports on the official New Worlds forums." So, just a quick look into this one. So, it's great that they've actually increased the capacity of the current servers, allowing a lot more people to join those servers, meaning the queues should be a little bit shorter, but from what I've found, they are still far too high. They've also doubled the amount of servers available, which again is great, but the issue I have here is I started on day one, only managed to get my character up to, I believe it was level 18, I think it is, 16 or 17 or 18, around there, but have since had to start on another server just because those queue times are ridiculous. So the time that I've spent on that character, in my mind, were wasted. I could be a much higher level now had they have thought about the number of players joining the server, joining the game, and made this the number of servers available now and the capacity priority in the first place. Other than that, there's not much to say about this area, so let's have a look at some of the changes that they are making. So first of all, with the general news, they have mentioned that they have implemented the groundwork for the character server transfer, and you may see elements of that work in the in-game store. So they are continuing to work on the feature, and we'll have more information on how the system works later this week when we release server transfer. So it looks like that the update's going to come later this week. I mean, we're on Wednesday now, so surely that would mean Thursday or Friday, or potentially the weekend, but I wouldn't hold out hope of seeing updates on weekends generally, but you never know. So in theory, that should be over the next 4 days, so that would be great, that we should be able to start transferring characters over very soon, which will make Benzo very happy, because he's got a high-level character on a server that we can't play due to the unfortunate queue times. Next up is just a small update for Wars. So they've changed the turret projectiles in War from physical projectiles to use hit scan detection. So they say this should help performance in War with fewer objects being spawned in the world. So you'll see less of those frame rate drops and more of those fragging. So good luck in Wars, people. They should be a lot easier and a lot smoother now. Next up is the AFK prevention. So we all know going AFK is a problem in this game, but the issue with that is actually because the only way to stay in the game sometimes, or the only way to get back into the game when you're going to make yourself something to drink, something to eat, take the dog for a walk, is you need to go AFK. Otherwise, when you come back to rejoin the game, you will have to sit through a 3-hour queue in order to get onto your server. So they've added additional AFK prevention to ensure players cannot fool the existing system with stimulated mouse movements. So that's going to be sort of stopping macros in the game. So they may need to look more into this for like keyboard, etc. as well, because that would be an issue too. But then they've also shortened the AFK warning message from 20 to 15, and also shortened the disconnect from 25 to 20. So this should hopefully mean anyone that is AFK and holding up a slot, preventing you from getting in your game, will hold that a little less, so it won't be as long, and people should start finding games just that little bit quicker. But it does still keep the issue that people who are in the game and are playing it casually and are not, as we would say, no-lifers and playing the game all day, every day, so logging on in the morning when it's not as busy and then playing throughout the day, that does mean that these people are still going to probably be in it as much as possible. They're going to find ways around it, but it does mean that there's more likely that they are going to get kicked. And the people who want to play casually probably still are going to struggle a fair amount. Next up is a small quality of life update for the world queue. So when you try to or attempt to leave the queue that you are sat in, it will actually ask you to confirm that you're intending to leave the queue. So if you accidentally misclicked and clicked on that leave button, that shouldn't happen again now unless you then accidentally click on the OK button as well. So you shouldn't lose your spot if you are clicking happily. So for example, I will alt tab out of the game. I'll then click back in the game. Don't always look where I'm clicking, so there's every chance that I could click on that leave button. I do try not to. I don't think it has happened yet, but I'm sure it could and probably has happened. Now, a bit of a longer list here of general fixes that they have done. So, fixed a rare issue causing the interact key to not properly function on various objects in the world. Fixed an issue causing the barrel to not appear in Pirate Stance emote. Fixed an issue where players did not receive coin as a reward from some activities. Fixed a bug where interrupting the fast travel animation may cause the player's character to become stuck inside of a house. Fixed an issue in territory standing rewards where some localized text was missing. Fixed an issue where players are asked to claim achievement titles multiple times after logging back into the game, despite already having claimed the rewards. Fixed an issue causing leg animations to freeze. Fixed game crashes related to New World Twitch integrations. Fixed a rare issue where players would enter state where they could not be hit by most attacks. Fixed an issue where certain item containers would be looted infinitely. And fixed an issue where abandoning event notification could sometimes persist after the player abandoned the event. Now, none of these I would say were particularly game-breaking. It's good to see that they are implementing fixes for little things like this. So, for example, the abandoning event notification. I've had that many a time. It can be quite annoying, but it's great to see that they've fixed little bugs like that, as well as looking at big improvements for the game as well. The only other thing that I may say about this fix is, so fixed an issue where players didn't receive coin as a reward from some activities. I would kind of hope that they will try and backdate that, so if they can see that a player has completed a task or an activity, that they should potentially get some coin back from that, because let's be honest, the game is very economical based. If you are missing out on some coin, then you are really missing out on a large chunk of the game there. So fingers crossed you'll get that backdated. If not, that is a big shame, I'm afraid. Moving on to the AI fixes. So they fixed an issue causing Pastor Walsh to spawn aggressively at the Walsham point of interest. So he was just constantly spawning. So that has been fixed now by the looks of things. So hopefully it shouldn't just be spawning instantly, sort of giving you the chance to fight again. That does sort of break the game slightly. It's not as intended, so it's good to see that's been fixed. Fixed an issue causing enemies to spawn slower than intended in the Bull Rush Wash point of interest. Again, that's the same, but opposite, I guess. Rather than having to spend ages and ages waiting, they will now spawn as intended. Fixed an issue causing Overseer Zane to respawn slower than intended in a Something to Prove quest. This is something that I have actually found very difficult. I've been to the area location many times trying to find him. Just does not seem to be there at all, and this must be the case that someone has already killed him fairly recently, and he's just taking his goddamn time to respawn. Finally, fixed an issue where Master Zint could have duplicated spawns at the Cannon Tomb, point of interest. Again, that is great that they're fixing that, purely in the fact that you go there to fight the one elite enemy. You do not expect to have to come across two or more of them, which make your day a lot more difficult. So it's great to see that that has also been resolved. And lastly, but definitely not least, as you can see there's quite a few bullet points here, is the quest fixes. So they've added missing journal information about the recommended quest levels for players attempting to unlock the second faction rank. Fixed an issue where resetting the Blessings of Earth quest when you have gained any of the blessings will block progression in the main story quest. Fixed an issue where Azoth Fulminate quest will be unavailable to players if they first complete other Windsword quests. Fixed an issue where completing the Goodwill Squashing quest prevents the player from obtaining the Aruda Jam quest. Fixed an issue where the Barkeep conversation state in First Light can enter a state where quests cannot be obtained from the Barkeep. Fixed an issue where completing the Taste of Revenge quest prevents the player from obtaining the Predator Prey and the Great Expectations quests. Fixed an issue where completing the Curse of Ebony Hawk quest prevents the player from obtaining the Bond's Gambit quest. Fixed an issue where completing the expedition into Serkor I can't speak now. Quest prevents the player from obtaining the One Threat at a Time quest. Fixed an issue where completing the Strength of the Earth quest prevents the player from obtaining the Fading Lights and Azure Tears quests. Fixed an issue where completing the Twisted Metamorphosis quest prevents the player from obtaining Blessing of the Fallen quest. And fixed an issue where completing the Faucets of Light and Darkness quest prevents the player from obtaining the Descent to Frosted Slumber and Transmuting Iron to Dust quests. Now, that's a lot of fixes there, so there's a lot of quests that if you were doing one or did something in one, it would prevent you from doing the other. So that's going to be a lot of XP, gold, items that were potentially being prevented from being gained by players. So it's great to see that they've identified these. These probably won't be all of them. They'll probably come up in the future, but it's great to see that they have fixed these, allowing players to do the quests that they want to. And now that I got my teeth back in, I should be able to actually talk properly. That's a joke. I have all my teeth in all the time. Now, I think it's great to see that they have updated the game today. They're actually looking after the game. They're on it as fast as possible. You're always going to get bugs in games, so I don't think we should send any hate towards the developers for the bugs that are currently in the game, but in fact send some love to the developers for the updates that they are providing to us so quickly and so freely. I hope you guys are actually enjoying the game as well. If you have got it, if you haven't got it yet, I definitely do recommend getting it. Like I say, the update has come within just over a week of it being released, so it's great to see that they are on it as fast as possible, and they have multiple teams working on the different issues as well. So if you liked this video anyway, drop us a thumbs up. If you hated it, thumbs down, and leave any comments that you have on the game itself or this video itself as well down below, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. As always, enjoy.